A kind day to you all. I'm Kinsmarck.
I'm Violeta.
Checking in after checking out the San Diego Zoo. And that was kind of a lot to accomplish in a single day.
Oh my gosh,
what
was
it
that,
came
like
to
6 miles?
Yeah, because the friend that we had with us had a pedometer with him and checked it at the end of the day. And yeah, it came to at least 6 miles.
My feet hurt.
It made for an actually pretty incredible afternoon. We spent, I'd say, around 5 or 6 hours there, and someone's creating some music.
Well,
and
kids don't always, you know.
It's California, independent musicians. It's their art. Let them have it. So anyway, I was actually pretty impressed with it. I had heard from it, especially from my mom, who had actually seen it years ago, and had recommended to me. And of course, the whole entire place is pretty renowned across the globe as far as zoos are concerned. So,
and it was very
it was pretty cool. I actually particularly enjoyed. This is going to sound incredibly lame. The landscaping,
except for the crazy.
Yeah, I'll get to that because it was pretty. Yeah, I see. Pretty flowers.
Pretty flowers.
It had an interesting verticality to it. A lot of the paths kind of intertwined and ducked under and above each other.
It was really kind of cool.
Yeah, and a lot of them were
laid
very green and lush and a lot of foliage everywhere. So it was a very, I suppose, in gaming terms, immersive sort of atmosphere. Like you felt like you were in the sorts of environments that the animals in the enclosures around that area was meant to like replicate. So it was a pretty cool experience. The thing that I criticize, however, is that apparently everywhere around the park, they have all manner of thorny and otherwise potentially health-threatening plants. Like, I could just see...
trail.
Yeah, like these are trails that are very crowded, as you'll see in some of the footage that I'm cutting over, because I couldn't capture all that I intended, because sadly the camera died about halfway through. I'll cut in a montage of all that I could, however.
And I did take some pictures with my phone,
and
so
yeah, so
we'll get some of that in.
I'll stitch in as much of that as I can. I'm sure I have already, editing me. And as I said, I could just see someone, an adult, much less a kid, just tripping or getting like pushed from, rude people in line and falling into any one of these thorny, terrible shrubs.
Kids getting overexcited and tripping,
And there were a lot of kids.
There were a lot of kids. There were several school buses full of kids, even.
So far, I'm loving the San Diego Zoo. It is cool. I like the fact that it's all very green, covered in foliage and everything. I have seen, however, that there is a faster means of transit. I just, ain't happening. Not this guy. Because I can't handle that. Yeah, no. It made for a pretty incredible experience. So let's see. Just to keep things a little concise, favorite animal that we saw?
Favorite animal.
Because there were a lot.
I actually really liked the fennec fox.
Yeah, there was a fennec. Sadly, I don't have video of that. We have a few stills. I'll make sure to stitch that in.
I really enjoyed the meerkats. They were adorable.
I'm thirsty. I am not $4.50 thirsty. Thanks, San Diego Zoo. I appreciate that. And she sees something. Consult the map.
There are meerkats.
Meerkats, you say? Meerkats.
Didn't mean to pull on you, but I didn't want you to miss him because I was like, I'm sure they got little holes and stuff.
Yeah, I saw him coming.
Oh, he spotted you. And there's one digging up there.
There's a couple of them.
There's a group of them back here.
Oh, yeah.
Hola.
There's a group of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like right back there. You see them? Oh, right there, right there. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. I'm gonna be weird here.
Yeah?
My favorite animals were the mallard ducks.
And they were everywhere. That's the thing. I got some video of it.
The thing is, there were babies.
Yeah, there were ducklings.
And they were just happily trotting along the paths.
I was kind of
And then they're
sad. I couldn't catch some of the one instance where there was a mother duck with an entire little flight wing, whatever you'd call, group of ducklings, and they all just like came right down the middle of the walking path. Everyone just made room for them.
And
I
we're
just
all
kind of
like-
froze, and they walked right around my feet.
It was just, and everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, they're so cute!" And there were multiple groups like
Yeah.
that. Like there were multiple little duckling families.
It was adorable. They were all over the place.
Cute. And there was one time where one of them got a little too far ahead and decided, "Oh no, what is this giant thing?" Stroller. And he was like, "Mama, mama." And just went scuttling back to his mama. Just like, I don't know what that was, but I'm not comfortable anymore.
It was pretty cool.
It was
I think
pretty
as far
cool.
as the favorite for me that we saw, because we saw all kinds of things. Let's see, cats of all kinds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did see some
lions, tigers, elephants.
Maned wolves.
They had an
Though they're
entire.
not technically maned wolves. They're not
Yeah,
actually wolves.
they're a canid.
They are canid, but they're more closely resembling foxes
Yeah.
than wolves.
And I think that is my favorite animal that we saw.
Of course, they smell really, really bad.
They do, specifically, it's their urine that does, and that's what they. That's what they mark their territory with.
Yeah.
And
Because
it is
the thing about the
a
maned wolves,
pungent aroma.
The thing about the maned wolves is that they're very solitary. Like even mated pairs, they
Sorry, I'm like shifting the camera all over the place.
like talk to each other using scent more than they do face to face.
Yeah.
So that's why their urine and stuff is so pungent, because that's how they communicate with others of their kind.
It was cool to get to see them that close up, because we had seen them once previously, ironically the day after we got married, at the Houston Zoo,
That's good.
which was kind of our honeymoon-ish, sort of. A single day apart from all the crowds that were in town from across the seas even for that particular event.
Those are pretty roses. But
Yes,
they're
they are.
red and orange.
That's cool.
I didn't know they made them like that.
I'm just kind of exploring the apartment complex,
Yeah.
because it's a pretty area. I figured it would make for a nice,
Pretty backdrop.
yeah. So,
But yeah, I think those are my favorite animals. The saddest ones I think I saw were
the
polar
polars.
bears.
Yeah.
that made me sad because one of them was so agitated.
Yeah.
And they
he
were
was
both
doing like the
really
head
dirty.
swaying and the pacing around. It was kind of disheartening to see. And they also had a lot of like Arctic and subarctic animals that, like, I'll say it, like, I don't want to criticize the people that work there. It's just creatures of that climate, especially in an open air environment that isn't climate controlled,
They're gonna
they
be
shouldn't.
miserable.
Yeah, they shouldn't get kept in Southern California environments. That's
Or
just kind of
Texas
cruel.
either, you know,
Yeah.
places like that. It's too hot for them.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I liked about.
Like, I was excited to see an Arctic fox, but he was curled
And,
up
yeah.
way up top.
An Arctic fox that lives in the subarctic, and
Yeah.
he's in an open air enclosure,
They
and he's
also-
hiding in as deep a shadow as he can possibly crawl into.
Yeah, I was a little bit sad about that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was really fun and really cool to see all these different animals, but
just-
some
in all
of
honesty,
them made me sad.
I kind of, just because I came into it, I admit, with some expectations, I
Because
kind of
we'd heard it
expected
was-
more.
Yeah, we heard it was world renowned.
Yeah.
We're like, this must be the most amazing zoo in the States, you know?
And I like zoos, especially if they keep their animals in humane conditions and they further, you know, zoological studies and conservational studies. Because, you know, I'm like slurring words because I'm tired.
But yeah.
Because that's the thing that I haven't really commented on, because it's never relevant to the channel, really. You know, I am a fan of especially like natural conservationist efforts, because as I've mentioned, in college I had an extreme interest, and I still have one. I just never really pursued the scholastic end of it, in
Biology.
especially marine biology. And I still also have a great respect and fascination for terrestrial animals as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, I especially
Canids.
yeah, and I know this is like a touchy subject. The comments are probably going to just light on fire with all this. I actually have mixed opinions when it comes to places like SeaWorld, because a lot of the conservation efforts and the humanitarian efforts, as well as like the cleanup of animals that are involved in like oil slicks and that kind of things, they do a lot of good. At
Yeah.
the same time,
A lot of the money that ghosts
Oh,
who
yeah.
are trying to help these creatures.
Millions
come
and
from
millions come from that. At the same time, though, I kind of cheered when I saw recently that SeaWorld is discontinuing their...
Orca breeding program.
Yeah, so...
As
Because that's
well
the
as
one
they're
thing...
they're not capturing any new orcas either.
Exactly. So yeah, it's going to ding their profits, absolutely, because the whales are their major drawing point. At the same time, though, I'm glad to see probably one of the worst things they've ever done is finally going away.
Yeah.
Because now they can
So
focus on doing all positive.
And now I can feel good about
Supporting them again.
SeaWorld.
Because when I was a kid, like, even my school, we took a day trip to SeaWorld in San Antonio, Texas. And I absolutely loved it. And I was really disheartened when I learned that it wasn't exactly a clean history with that organization.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
they're doing better.
Yeah.
And the thing with this zoo is it was really, really big. It was really, really crowded.
Incredibly so.
They had
$5 for water.
Yeah. and then they had buses.
Oh yeah, that was the thing.
Bus tours.
Catering to the lazy in the extreme. And I acknowledge kids, especially small kids and the elderly that still want to enjoy a park, they need a means of getting around, easily, especially in a park with as many hills, as much verticality as the San Diego Zoo has, which is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, all of the major paths are essentially roads with sidewalks for pedestrian traffic. And all of these, double-deckers
buses
would drive around and conduct tours, and you had to kind of, dodge and get out of the way of them. It was kind of silly, if I'm honest.
Yeah. And I mean, I can understand why, but at the same time, I'm just like, if you're going to the zoo and you're not one of the demographics that... There were like at least half a dozen of these giant buses.
Yeah.
Probably more, and they were all full.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know most of you people do not need...
Yeah, I'm looking at a lot of people on them. I don't want to sound all judgmental and everything. Don't get me wrong. It's just, a lot of these people, I'm like, you just don't want to walk.
And I'm sorry,
That's the thing.
We're poor, so we couldn't have afforded it anyway, but even if we had, we would have walked. We're not exactly in the greatest of shape.
If you're in a constantly moving vehicle, especially if you're on the second, tier of it, how are you going to appreciate the animals? Because you're hardly ever stopping. You're just kind of passing them.
You're slowing down.
Yeah.
The guide
let's head out this way.
essentially tells you, I'm not in frame anymore.
All right. Change of plan because I see a crowd of people and I don't want to stumble into them.
And essentially, the guide tells you. I'm trying not to freak out over the bee. The guide tells you, oh, okay, on the right there's this animal.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of interesting facts, and then they move on.
Yeah.
And I like to look.
Yeah, there are certain
like really...
enclosures that we'll just kind of hang out at for several minutes and just kind of enjoy it and soak it in.
Yeah, I have to admit, one of the other favorites I had was all the eagles we got to see.
Oh, yes. There was a Steller's sea eagle. That was cool. There
were several gigantic condors.
Condors were cool.
Huge.
There was also that Russian eagle. Which one was that?
Oh, I don't remember.
I forget.
But it was cool.
It was very majestic.
It was a majestic creature.
What a majestic creature.
I actually really liked. It wasn't a flightless, but it doesn't fly much. It had stork legs,
the secretary bird.
It was an eagle.
Oh, it was so cool.
And it has this cool little floof of feathers on the back of his head.
Yeah, that thing was really cool.
It's so cute. Except it is eating.
And it eats snakes.
Yeah,
which
so
would make my mom very happy because she's deathly afraid of them.
So, criticisms aside, we really did enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely
spent
loved
hours there.
The entire experience was cool. I just had a few criticisms, and since I am kind of treating this as equal parts Travelogue and also kind of, oh god, same tree, travel advisory, then I figured they were worth noting, just for the record.
And I mean, if you are not able to walk the 5-6 miles, then the bus tours are good.
Yeah, because we hit the majority of the park.
Yeah, there was one road thing that we didn't go down.
And also a couple of things. It was also a little annoying when we first showed up because there was this constant helicopter chop.
Yeah.
Because there's a hospital near it, and they had apparently gone on to full lockdown because someone found some ammunition. Come to find, they were suspecting potential terror attack or something.
Okay.
And then
let's stop with this nice pretty backdrop so I can redo my hair because it's falling apart.
Then come to find, it's because someone found 3 rounds of ammunition that probably just tumbled out of someone's pack.
As in
individual rounds. And so
Not
the entire,
magazines, not clips.
like
maps.
the highway on the way there was completely shut down. Cops everywhere, helicopters circling, constant
News
sound.
vans.
It was a little obnoxious. And yet, you know, they flew off a little ways in.
I thought of a thing you might want to mention.
Oh, and speaking of choppers, hang on, pause. What kind are those?
What kind of?
Because they are flying from Camp Pendleton.
I don't see them. Oh.
Just across the way. I have no idea because I can't actually see them in the viewfinder. I hope they show up in the video.
Probably won't.
I don't know, sometimes this camera surprises me.
Are you zooming?
Yeah. Because that's the thing around here is something else I've wanted to mention, I just keep forgetting it, is that, speaking of constant chopper wash, insects galore as well.
Don't talk about that.
Since
I'm
we
trying to
are
ignore that.
in such close proximity to Camp Pendleton, which is primarily a Marine Corps base, they're constantly flying perimeter patrols. So it's usually in the evenings pretty like cloud covered, so I can't see them. Coming from a military family though, I recognize the sounds of the different types of rotor chop. So I keep like quizzing myself every evening like, that's a Huey, that's a Blackhawk.
It's
I think I hear a V-22 Osprey like occasionally, so it's kind of cool.
Do you want to go back?
Yeah, let's circle around because now we're hitting a lot of like traffic.
Well, yeah, this
So,
is a crossroads. And it was another cool thing about going to the zoo this year.
Actually, I have an idea. I think it circles around across the way into the apartment complex again. So let's like head around that way. Yeah, conduct a little exploring while we're recording.
Okay. A cool thing about this year at that zoo is it was their
Yeah.
Centennial year.
Yeah, it's the anniversary.
It's been open for 100 years.
Yeah,
Which is really pretty impressive.
it is.
And they're opening a whole new.
Sidewalk cars.
They're opening a whole new section in 2017.
It's
Oh.
a Madagascar exhibit.
Yes, a Madagascar exhibit, which is
So,
really cool.
yeah.
And then, there was the baby hippo.
Yeah.
That was kind
the most dangerous animal in the world, and like nobody knows it.
Well, I know it because my mom knows it. but
Yeah.
Everything
Because
else.
her
not
mom
so
actually
much.
lived in Africa for a little while as a kid.
They always told her stay away from the hippos.
Like the story where they're camping in the middle of the African wilderness and then wake up and they think they hear some shuffling outside and her dad's just like, oh, don't worry about it, just go to sleep. Okay. Wake up in the morning and find out that an entire crowd of elephants had just stomped around their campsite and they were just like, don't disturb them, they might kill us. These are the stories that we hear from her family.
And so she
'Cause
was like, hippos.
her
hippos
grandpa
are
was-
dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
So are warthogs.
Yeah.
Warthogs are mean, apparently.
Yeah, her grandpa was like the real life Indiana Jones. He was a straight up adventurer.
He was crazy. I loved him. But let's see. What did we do?
Yeah, after the fact, after we left the zoo, we visited the vape shop that the couple that's staying with us wanted to hit so they could get some repairs.
And we were really hungry.
Yeah.
So we were hungry. I was like,
That was
I need to
the-
grease my wheels. I'm hurt.
Yeah, that was the Pacific Beach Cantina. Yeah,
Or PB Cantina.
yeah, something like that.
And we had what they call Fiesta fries.
Oh, they were so
Oh
good.
my god. It was huge though. Like the platter was this giant disc of a platter.
Yeah.
And it was filled. Ooh, lizard.
He's a lizard. Hang on. Animal life. Lizard. Oh, he ran away. I think I might have caught him a little.
Sorry guys.
Anyway.
We tried. But the Fiesta fries, they were coated in queso. There was some sour cream. There was carne asada, pico, and jalapenos. And oh my gosh. It was
So good.
It was
Especially
so
after having
good.
spent so much walking around.
And then we got Chigosekis. Man, that tasted way better than it probably
That
should
went
have.
down smooth. Apologies for the little jump cut there. I had to check the camera to make sure it's still
And this
capturing.
is not the proper.
Now we have to keep walking a little ways. So, anyway, let's see. After that, traffic was absolutely terrible. Like crowds were extreme.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, hey.
Sorry about that jump cut, guys.
Yeah, I had to change arms, and also my friend actually just pulled along next to us and let me know that he's heading to the mall because he's still furnishing his apartment. So had
He
to
had to
hand
give
us
us the
a key so we weren't locked out upon return.
So let's talk about traffic on the way back. from
Yeah,
San
it
Diego.
was kind of a parking lot along, what was that, the I-5, I think?
I think so.
Absolutely gorgeous view after we detoured from the main highway and started just coming along. I forget the name of this road. It essentially just skirts the very edge of the coastline from like San Diego all the way up to Oceanside. All these little small Oceanside towns, and they were gorgeous. I can't imagine how many just millions upon millions of dollars worth of houses we passed.
Oh, and part of the problem though, it ended up a parking lot again because there was a marathon going through the town that we were going to for dinner.
So that made for some interesting conflicts trying to find parking and such. I wish I could have captured some video of that drive along the coast because it was absolutely stunning. Again, though, it's just at that time my camera had already died and I didn't have a charger for like plugging into a car, so
yeah,
I had to just kind of make do and figure I'll try to capture at least some of that because I think from what I saw of the rail lines, which we passed, I think some of that passes along that same area when we leave on Sunday. So I'll see how much I can capture of the area around here from the train as we leave.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get some cool footage of the lovely ocean.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's snails.
Oh, snails are everywhere around here.
I know, I just didn't notice them until now.
And so the plan for the remainder of the week,
which is
chilling
tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, it's just kind of chilling and relaxing after all the walking from yesterday today.
Even though we're walking right now.
Yeah, well, I wanted to get up and move because my legs were being stiff. We're planning on getting Anita's, a nice little highly recommended Mexican restaurant around here that the couple we're staying with, as well as my friend, they absolutely just like keep pressing us like, you have to try this. Y'all are from Texas. You have to see this amazing Mexican food.
So
we're like, all right.
All right, we're good with that because we don't go a week without eating Mexican food down in Texas.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like,
it's a staple of our diet.
I'm like, you know what? I could go for some Mexican right about now.
So tomorrow's plan is probably waking early like we did for the zoo, and then heading down to the San Diego harbor where the USS Midway, which my grandpa served on, is currently staying.
After that, we're going to, what did they call it, Coronado?
Yeah, I think we're heading to Coronado Island after that, which they have said is kind of a nice, quaint, quiet little island that apparently has some nice little coastal regions around it, so that should be pretty cool to check out. And
I'm not sure this goes where you think it goes.
It does.
We'll try.
Maybe.
I'm not sure about
Possibly.
This. That's okay.
Yeah, I know that area. Because that's where we were walking a couple of vlogs ago.
Okay.
So, that's pretty much the plan. I am not entirely sure of the plan after hitting Coronado because the couple we're staying with, since he's actually got orders to change stations this coming week, he's saying his farewells to a lot of the folks that he knows around here. So he's got some parties and places that he wants to check out, friends to check in with. And after all this walking, I'm a little short of breath. I'm a little fatigued. So I know he's having a get-together with some friends of his after the fact. However, the friend that we're actually out here staying with is also coming with us in his own vehicle, so we may head home with him, in which case I have no idea what the plan is after Coronado. So
we shall find out tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, I'll check in with the results after that. And apologies for the lack of video yesterday. It's just all of the editing I knew would have to happen for this one. I just, after all that walking, I was too exhausted to put in. So I had to delay it. In any case,
hopefully that's enough time for all of our footage to get fit in there.
And I want to give a warning ahead of time that I may have to just miss a couple of days.
Oh, are we going around?
Yeah, head through here.
Okay.
Considering the train ride home from San Diego to Houston.
I don't think there's going to be internet.
That's the thing, because it's a 35-hour ride, and I doubt a moving train has Wi-Fi of any kind. So we're probably
going to end up going black.
Yeah, we're going to end up internet dark for that, and I wish I could do something about that. I just can't really.
So you'll have to wait for the announcement that we've gotten home, and we're
Yeah,
going to show you
and
all of the footage that we got on the train.
I'm still, because of the inconsistency of formatting and everything, having released Travelogues entirely this past week, kind of cringing at that. So
It's going to be okay, I promise.
I aim to, as soon as I've had a proper night's rest, because we're sleeping on an air mattress, which means sleep is kind of hard to come by, hitting hard the usual formats and routine. Like, I am still, if anything, even if I haven't the energy for it, I have the motivation to return to work as, intensely as ever I have. So
you can look forward to the return of more normal.
yes, that's a coming.
I think
So
that's
I think, that pretty much covers the last day or so. So,
Watch out for
else?
dog poop, love.
Yeah, I know, 'cause it's an apartment complex. Pick up after your pets. Anyway, I am Kinsmarck here at Lessable Press.
I'm Violeta.
And as always, wish you all fair travels and Godspeed.
Bye.